As a little boy, you taught me to never give up. As an athlete, at Barnesville High School, you taught me to have good work ethics. After college, you taught me the value of serving others. For 34 years, I did everything I could to thank you. I am Reggie Burgess. Thank you, North Charleston, for making me the man that I am. As mayor, I will never stop working for you. Vote Reggie Burgess for mayor on November 7th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Reggie Burgess for mayor.
John Tecklenburg is good at playing piano, but not at being mayor. He was MIA during the King Street riots, and flooding, traffic, and costs are all out of control on his watch. This is Clay Middleton, Citadel grad, awarded the Bronze Star in combat, and served under President Obama. As mayor, he'll fix flooding, shorten commutes, and provide more affordable housing. Clay Middleton, horrible at piano, good at getting stuff done.
Under the leadership of Mayor Tecklenburg and my husband Luther Reynolds and the Charleston Police Department men and women, we live in an incredibly safe city.
Neighborhood policing, cutting-edge forensics, the best paid and trained police force, and some of the lowest crime rates in the entire state.
If my husband was here today, here's what he'd tell you. You're not going to find a better man to run this city, to accomplish what he's accomplished, and to continue with the projects he's been doing than Mayor John Tecklenburg.
It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, it's election day all across America, and here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro, we got more than two. We have two big mayoral elections in the city of Charleston and the city of North Charleston. The polls are still open for another 29 minutes or so till 7 o'clock Eastern time. So if you're watching me live here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro and you haven't voted, get your ass out and vote. Do that, all right? So I come to you live. My normal start times and days are Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. It's 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. out on the West Coast. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Binge watch all my back episodes. You and everybody you know, you like, you love, folks you can't stand, folks you hate, strangers, aliens from outer space. Tell them all. This is must-see TV. Tina Turner had a song called Simply the Best, and that is exactly what this show is. Simply the best. The baddest in the business. The Geno Jones Show. So today's election day. So my monologue is just no guest today. I want to stress again, I know I've been talking about it a lot. I can't stress enough how important it is to vote. And I get it, especially for people to look like you and me, people of color, for black folks in America. Some brown folks, some of the Hispanic brothers and sisters, maybe not so much the ones that are the white Hispanic, white Latinos. That's kind of, either passing or they've kind of blended in, and blended in with this white Christian nationalist ideology. Hell, you even have some Afro-Latino brothers that bought into this white Christian nationalist. The dude that's in jail, Enrique Tarrio, Dominican brother, Afro-Latino, anti-black, supporting the Proud Boys. One of the domestic terrorists that stormed the U.S. Capitol on January 6th of 2021. And that ideology of hate, that ideology of white Christian nationalists or white Christian nationalism is being the dominant force among those groups, feel that America should be a white Christian nationalist nation and a theocracy, which is based on this twisted, bigoted, racist, misogynistic, sexist, homophobic, anti-Muslim, anti-immigrant form of remixed Christianity. It's out there. So when I hear people say that, and a lot of people are talking about the polls, and in 5 of the 6 swing states, President Biden is trailing, as I refer to him, as orange jumpsuit Hitler and everything. And then I heard today there's a poll. I haven't seen the poll, but I heard it from a couple of reliable, reputable sources. Supposedly, there's some poll that 22% of black people in America said that they would consider voting, or they would vote for Donald Jackass Trump. Oh my God, on this election day, you guys got to understand something. First of all, when people tell you your vote doesn't count, it's not going to make any difference, these folks are going to do what they want to do. No. They won't do it. They can't do it if you show up and show out and vote. Let me say this again. The people and the powers that want to exploit, oppress, and destroy you, they're always going to vote. Say that again. The people that want to destroy. The people that want to destroy you and your family, that want to exploit you and your family and everybody that looks like you and oppress you, the people that want to destroy, exploit, and oppress you, they will always vote. So ask yourself, why is it that the people and the powers and the forces that tell black people and people of color, it don't matter, your vote don't count? If that's the case, why do they spend billions of dollars on marketing campaigns, on campaign ads? Why? Why do they spend millions of dollars to put behind these white Christian nationalist candidates? This whole MAGA cult. If voting didn't matter, if elections didn't matter, if your vote didn't count, why are so many people and powers working so hard to keep you from voting? Why are these same powers afraid to renew the Civil Rights Act if voting didn't matter? And if voting, once again, I'm going to say it again, if voting didn't matter, then why did they vote? Every election, local, city, county, state, federal government, every election from school board to dog catcher to mayors to county commissioners, county presidents, state legislators, state senators, state representatives, U.S. House of Representatives, U.S. senators, and the president. Why? Why judges that are elected if voting didn't matter? Once again, think about this. I'm repeating it because I want you to marinate on this and just think about this. Game recognize game. Game respect game. Common sense here. The people and the powers that want to destroy and exploit and oppress you and everybody that looks like you and me, they are always voting. Always voting in every election, even when they lose. They don't say, oh, we're not going to vote. They say, we're going to double down and we got to go harder. So the people that believe in democracy, and let me explain something. I want to make it real simple. To coin a phrase that my grandfather and his brother named Joe Madison, I'll shout him out. He's the radio talk show host on Sirius XM. Now, remember hearing my grandfather say stuff like this. He said, Geno, I'm going to put it where the ghost can get it. I mean, whatever you are telling someone, make sure they can understand it. Speak to them at their level. Don't speak down to them, but just speak to them at their level. So especially my young brothers and sisters of all shades and backgrounds, when you hear people say that, our democracy is teetering on the cliff and we are very close to losing this democracy, you say, well, okay, what does that mean? I'm going to tell you exactly what it means. Because all these elections right now, through 2024, you're not voting. So if you think Joe Biden is too old, or if you don't like him for whatever reason, or he's supporting Israel, and the U.S. government is giving Israel money, and what's happened to the Palestinians and that situation in the Middle East is horrible, and it's history repeating itself. And I talk about that in some episodes. Just go back and watch last Thursday's show. But what you need to understand is that every election right now in America, you literally are voting for a choice between one or two things. You're voting for your freedom or your oppression. And when you don't vote, or if you think it's cool because you think Donald Jackass Trump gave you a stimulus check, which he didn't. He didn't give you no PPP loans. That was Congress. And I'm going to let you also in on a little secret. The majority of black folks, even a lot of small business owners, didn't get those loans like white people got. No, not at all. And some of the folks that got them wound up going to jail on the scam tip. So you have to understand. The choice now, in next November 5th, you are voting for your freedom or your oppression. Now, you can mess around and vote for this orange jumpsuit Hitler dude if you want to. He has already told you. He's already told you that on Inauguration Day, he wants to invoke the Insurrection Act. What does that mean? That means that he can issue an order and implement that Insurrection Act, which means he can call the United States military. He can send the Marines into the streets of Chicago, New York City, Los Angeles, Detroit, Houston, here in Charleston. If he wins and people are protesting his election, he has already told you he will invoke the Insurrection Act and send the U.S. military. And what you have to understand, the U.S. military, they're trained to kill. Even more so than a lot of these local police departments. So he is prepared to send the U.S. military and sick them and put them on against peaceful protesters who would protest his election. And it would be a bloodbath. And many innocent protesters, people who have a First Amendment right to protest, would be shot down. Or you think I'm being hyperbolic? You think I'm making this up? He has made it very clear. He wants to go after anybody that doesn't agree with him, be it the media. He wants to get rid of the FCC and go after talk show hosts, radio, TV hosts, people who was in his administration that tried to keep him from trying to overthrow the government. Anybody that wants to peacefully protest against his corruption and lies and racism and misogyny. He wants to use and invoke something called the Insurrection Act, which would allow him to send the U.S. military out on the streets of America to shoot down protesters, because he's already said he believes in that. The elections from now up until next November 5th are about your freedom or your oppression. And if you don't believe me, I encourage you to Google something called Project 2025. It's a 1,000-page blueprint. They're so bold. Look, not only they done printed it out and put it in a PDF form. You can download it on your desktop computer or whatever. It is a blueprint to put this MAGA, white, Christian nationalist movement in power in every branch of local, state, and federal governments to oppress black people and brown people, LGBTQ people, Muslims, Jews who don't subscribe to this ideology of white Christian nationalism, women, period, because this MAGA movement has already put these white Christian nationalists on the Supreme Court that struck down, that basically said Roe versus Wade, it's unconstitutional. It has been struck down. So that's now allowed individual states to ban abortions. Part of the Project 2025, they want to have a federal ban on abortions. Period. No exceptions. They want to ban birth control pills. They want to put women and doctors in jail if they have to terminate a pregnancy. It doesn't matter if it's a stillborn child, which means the child is dead in the mother's body. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Google Project 2025. It's in writing. It's in print. I'm telling you. Same people that are telling you not to vote are the same people that's got you brainwashed. And let me speak, and I want to speak to, if that's so, any black folks out there, any, Afro-Latino folks, anyone in the African diaspora, Black American, African American, Afro-Latino, whether you speak English, Spanish, French, Portuguese, but you are of African ancestry, and you look any way black, well, they're coming for all of us. And the light-skinned ones and the light, bright, damn near white ones ain't going to get off. They're going to get the same treatment that the dark ones, that the post-midnight, that the 3 a.m. black ones get. The ones as dark as 3 in the morning. 3 a.m. black. And they're not going to differentiate. Please understand what I'm saying. Please. So, for those black folks who are considering to vote for their oppression, because if you vote for this orange jumpsuit Hitler or anyone with this ideology of white Christian nationalism, you are voting for your oppression. You are literally, by your vote, using your power to oppress you and everybody that looks like you, your family, your children, your grandchildren, your unborn grandchildren and great-grandchildren. That's exactly what you are doing. And I don't care how much money you have. I don't care if you are a millionaire. Oh, well, I'm going to get a big tax break because I'm a millionaire. Yeah, you might get a big tax break, but you're going to get something else, because the minute you say something, the minute you don't agree with this ideology of white Christian nationalism and hate and misogyny and sexism and hatred and all those other forms, the minute you don't agree with it or you decide to say something about it, you get bold and speak out, they will come for your ass too. And your millions won't save you. Not at all. I don't care how popular you are. I don't care how popular you are. How funny you are, how talented you are, how great you can sing or dance or dunk or shoot or basketball. It doesn't matter. It's really that simple. Every election that we are facing now is a choice between your freedom. Women have already lost their reproductive freedoms in many states. And if the MAGA cult movement has their way, just download, check out Project 2025. You can Google it. They want a national ban, a federal ban, a national ban on all abortions. Oh, but they're not done. They're coming after birth control. So fellas, be prepared, because a lot of y'all, you love to hook up with somebody, but you ain't too crazy about putting on no protection or using no condom, right? Okay, I got you. You were, raw dog, eat bear. Okay. All right. You wind up like Nick Cannon with 11 kids without Nick Cannon's money. Some of these baby mamas, okay? Some of these baby daddies. Because there's, especially my Gen Zers, my Generation Zers and my millennials, some of y'all ain't ready to be a parent. Some of y'all don't want a parent. Some of y'all don't need to be a parent. Man, you better wake up. I'm going to keep beating this drum. Don't take my word for it. Read for yourself. Go Google search or Bing search or search engine, whatever search engine you use. Just type in Project 2025 and read it. I said, you can download it for free. PDF form. That's how bold they are. They want you to know. That's how bold they are. But you got the power to stop all this. But you can mess around and vote for Donald Jackass Trump if you want to. You are voting for the oppression of you and everybody that looks like you. And if that's your choice, if you choose to want to be oppressed and return basically to being a slave, a modern day slave, absolutely, your choice. But guess what? I'm not going to let you take the rest of us. So for every black person that for selfish or ignorant reasons, greed, I don't care if it's greed, selfishness, self-hatred, or ignorance, that's on you. Now you can listen to what I have to say. You can research this for yourself, or you can return to bondage, but I'm not going to let you take all of us with you. So that means we're going to go out and make sure that we recruit new voters. 100 million people did not vote, and millions of them were black people and brown people and white Americans that still want some kind of form of democracy and don't want to live under a dictatorship. What happened in Germany nearly 100 years ago? Some of the same things are happening here right now. Banning books. Don't teach this. We don't want you to teach the truth about history. And then we want to control women's bodies. We want to force women to have bodies because we need more low-wage workers. Your new Speaker of the House of Representatives, he said the quiet part out loud. We need to have more low-wage workers. Women need to stop having abortions because we need more low-wage workers. Really? You need more workers that are paid no money or why do you want more low-wage workers? To benefit your corporate donors, to make them rich. You want to oppress people and have them working for pennies to live in poverty. And some of them will wind up turning to a life of crime so you can feed the criminal justice system because you got corporate prisons and you got people that own stock in these corporate prisons, and it's an industry. You got guards and wardens, and you got communities around these prisons where families come to see their loved ones in jail, and they have hotels and restaurants and all that. So it's an industry. It's a hustle. Hatred, fear, ignorance, sexism, misogyny. Hatred in all of its forms is a hustle. It is. That's what we say on the south side of Chicago. It's a hustle. That means it's big money. That's exactly what a hustle means. For my young people, please. So we'll go out and target these millions of black and brown folks and white people that don't want to live under a dictatorship. We have to go out and recruit them and get them to sign up and get them to understand that now elections is a choice between your freedom and your oppression. And black folks, we'll be the first ones. We were legally oppressed before. You had laws, Jim Crow laws, where segregation was written in law. Well, lynching was okay. There was nothing in law there was no legal protections for black people being lynched. They would go out on a Sunday after they left church, and they would lynch a black person and come out the church with their Sunday best and little baskets with food, and that's where the term picnic came from, as in pick a N-word. That's exactly where the origin of picnic came from. Pick a N-word to hang. And there are forces, there's a force, this white Christian nationalist movement. They believe in all of that. Because for them, the Civil War never ended. They are still fighting the Civil War. close over 150 years later, at least. So it's election day. If you got time to get out and vote, vote. A shout out to my mother. Thank you for watching, Mother. Here's the good news. You got the power. And to my young brothers and sisters, look, I got love for all of my people, even the ones that's ignorant because they don't read, they don't talk to people who have knowledge, or because they want to be ignorant, or because they're selfish. But I don't give a damn who it is. If you see me come on this TV and start talking about I'm voting for Donald Jackass Trump, stop watching this show. I don't give a damn who it is. Anybody that would tell you to vote for anybody who wants to oppress you and everybody that looks like you, there's something wrong with that. And I know in some cases it's an element of self-hate or selfishness, greed financially, because they figure, well, I'll benefit. I'll get a bigger tax break because I'm a millionaire, multi-millionaire. Yeah, but they're going to come for them too. Because eventually they're going to say or do something. Or they just say, we don't want you. We're not really crazy about you, black famous person, entertainer, athlete, politician. We're not really crazy about you having money and power. So we want to get rid of your ass too. We don't like you. We're jealous of you and your fame and success. Your money's not going to protect you. If this country turns into a dictatorship and the chief white nationalist, Christian, and the funny part, this man is anything, there's nothing Christian about him at all. He couldn't spell. He didn't even know how to hold a damn Bible upright. When he was in office and he went and walked through it was an area, I forgot the name of the park. They were peaceful protests. And he got General Mark Milley, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, to walk out there with him with some other federal law enforcement folks. And he stood in front of that church holding the Bible upside down with his dumb ass. As your Christian leader, he didn't even know how to hold a damn Bible. Held the damn Bible upside down, standing there proud like a peacock. Come on, y'all. So you can, if Sexy Red wants to be oppressed, and if, I don't know if I heard Cardi B, but Sexy Red and Waka Flocka and Kanye and anybody else, and if people like Dr. Cornel West, who I have just incredible respect for the work this man has done, but he's not going to win. There's no way he is going to win. Which troubles me about Dr. West because he's a brilliant man, so I know he knows better. And his heart is in the right place. Yes, he's against war and he wants equality, but it's like you do. The way this system is set up, you are not the person, and this is not the time for you. There's no way you can get elected running as an independent third party. You are almost guaranteeing that the person that wants to oppress people to look like you and us, Dr. West, the person and the movement, the white Christian nationalist, racist, bigoted, sexist, misogynistic, homophobic, hateful in all of its forms, that whole ideology, this is a part of Project 2025, you are aiding in the oppression of your own people. And I know, Dr. Cornel West, that is not what you are all about. I know that. I don't think somebody could tell me that. Somebody close to you told me that. If your wife told me that, I'd have to look at her twice. But I have to judge you by your actions. So you should be doing everything you can. It's not about liking Joe Biden, even though he's done some amazing things. And I'll talk about those. I talked about them already, and I'll do it again. But man, this is about our freedom or our oppression. And I'm just telling you, I am not going to allow us is black people in America are part of the African diaspora, whether we speak English, Spanish, French, Portuguese, or just kind of Great Britain accent. No, I'm just not going to let it happen. I'm going to do everything I can in my power and use my platform and my fame and celebrity and talents to keep talking to, especially my young brothers and sisters. If you don't like what the Democratic Party is doing, take it over. That's what the MAGA cult did. They took over. There is no more Republican Party because the MAGA cult, the racist white Christian nationalists, took over the party. So my young people, take over the Democratic Party, run for office, show up like y'all going to see Beyonce or Taylor Swift or somebody, or Sexy Red. That's how you do that. You want to get people to do what you want them to do, you hold them accountable. And if they don't want to be held accountable, then you replace them. You got the power to either give them power or take power away from them. But don't vote for your oppression. Vote for your freedom, because that's really what this is all about. I'm giving it to you straight, no chaser. I'm telling you the real. I'm giving it to you straight 100. And all those slang words and colloquialisms, which is a fancy word for just sayings, all the different sayings and phrases and slang. Don't vote for your oppression. Vote for your freedom. And then get involved, run for office, form organizations, select candidates, put money behind them, put them in office and hold them accountable. And if they don't do what you want them to do, if they don't keep their promise to you, the people, then vote their ass out, just like you voted them in. And then maybe some of you all can run and make a change and make a difference and save this democracy, which means you are saving your freedom. And you are saving yourself and many people, millions of people that look like you from oppression. Because I promise you, just read Project 2025, this white Christian nationalist movement. It's even bigger than Orange Jumpsuit Hitler. They're really about to move on from him. But that ideology, that mentality, some people call it Trumpism, white Christian nationalism. Oh, there's too many, black babies and brown babies. Oh my God. White people, is going to be less white people than all these other groups. What are y'all scared of? Black people don't have a history of oppressing white people. If anything, we have a history of oppressing each other. If we kind of trace our history back to the motherland, that's a whole different conversation. So what are y'all scared of? People don't want to let go of power, and they bought into this bullshit notion of whiteness, which was made up by only a handful of people to control folks that don't have a lot of melanin. In America, 250 years ago, unless you are a wealthy white Christian landowner or WASP or, ancestors basically from Great Britain, when the Irish first got here, they were discriminated against. They were looked at as the N-words. They even had anti-immigration acts for the Irish immigrants. They had anti-immigration acts in law for Italian Americans, for Chinese Americans. They only eventually became white when the Irish ancestors first got here. So for you Irish, my Irish brothers and sisters, you Italian brothers and sisters out there, talk to your grandparents and ask them about their grandparents, when they were looked down upon and discriminated and called all kind of names. Oh, they got racial slurs for them too, and I know them. But now I'm not going to hit you with them, but you know them. You weren't always white. You eventually got accepted into the club when they felt, okay, we need some more white folks. We need some more numbers because, oh my God, look at these black folks. Oh my God, these brown folks. every election now. You're voting for your freedom or your oppression. And remember, I'm going to say it one last time for today. The people and powers that want to destroy, they want to destroy you. The people and powers that want to exploit you, and the people and powers that want to oppress you are always voting. So should you. Thank you for watching, everybody. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Shout out to Allie Jones, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check her out and her collection, her clothing line at lx.n like Nanette, C like Charlie, L like Lexi, underscores that dash below. Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey. Just had his grand opening. New location for Designer Cuts. He is the CEO of Designer Cuts here in the Charleston, South Carolina Metro. Check him out on Instagram. Kel, KELBECUTTINUP. Thank you for watching, everybody. Mother and everybody watching the show. Let's make this episode go viral. On this election day, as a matter of fact, polls have been closed here in South Carolina for 5 minutes. So, just remember, the people that want to destroy you and exploit you and oppress you, they are always voting. So should you. We'll see you Wednesday, live 6:30. Go back and binge watch all my back episodes. Thanks again, everybody.
As a little boy, you taught me to never give up. As an athlete, at Barnsley High School, you taught me to have good work ethics. After college, you taught me the value of serving others. For 34 years, I did everything I could to thank you. I am Reggie Burgess. Thank you, North Charleston, for making me the man that I am. As mayor, I will never stop working for you. Vote Reggie Burgess for mayor on November 7th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Reggie Burgess for mayor.
Under the leadership of Mayor Tecklenburg and my husband Luther Reynolds and the Charleston Police Department men and women, we live in an incredibly safe city.
Neighborhood policing, cutting-edge forensics, the best paid and trained police force, and some of the lowest crime rates in the entire state.
If my husband was here today, here's what he'd tell you. You're not going to find a better man to run this city, to accomplish what he's accomplished, and to continue with the projects he's been doing than Mayor John Tecklenburg.
John Tecklenburg is good at playing piano, but not at being mayor. He was MIA during the King Street riots, and flooding, traffic, and costs are all out of control on his watch. This is Clay Middleton, Citadel grad, awarded the Bronze Star in combat, and served under President Obama. As mayor, he'll fix flooding, shorten commutes, and provide more affordable housing. Clay Middleton, horrible at piano, good at getting stuff done.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.